Welcome back. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today I want to talk about some dogs. Some dogs in a way that I kind of want to share a little inside of stuff that's gone on with me with these dogs that has really let me see what it is that has allowed me to be able to get into a better place with these dogs. There's something that I want to say that I know a lot of people fall into. And it's a thing that a dog can do for us, which is help us in a way of a need that you have because you don't want to be alone is a word that I want to say. But they're not really the best at doing that. And we always can see out there one that's doing that, such as some really awesome, amazing service dogs that are capable of doing incredible things. But you got to realize that like not even a percent, not even a half, not even like a third of a percent of dogs are like actual active. They make it through the programs that these people are using to get these dogs like on the streets to be able to help people out. It's an exceptional dog that's capable of being able to do the real, that's the word I want to use, but don't take it the wrong way, compassionate work for the dog to be able to help you get out of your funk, your problems, your issues, your drama, your depressions, your anxieties, your problems that you got going on. That the dog isn't there to like get that out for you. It's something that you got to do on your own. Because there's one thing that I realized that I run into some sticky cases with working with some dogs is because we're putting too much upon the animal and looking at it as if it's our savior. Like it's going to make all the problems go away. If I just pet it enough, everything is going to be okay. If I just walk it enough, my life is just going to be, you get me with the walking part. Walking is, you'd have to do that as well. So you may get better at the case with that. But still, that's not the concept of just holding it all day long and just using everything that you have inside of you, you put it upon the dog. It's still wild to me that like very in shape people have like the most overweight dogs that I've seen. It's almost like you're projecting you can't eat something and then you just give it to the dog. And then you just like you're living through the dog. You can't do a sport yourself and you're forcing your dog and putting it in something that you're putting extreme pressure to create the dog to like perform the best because we're like putting ourselves upon it and we're forcing it to do something to be able to make us happy. And that's just not in reality what a dog is capable of doing. They're not to make us happy. They're not to save us. They're not to bring our misery away. They're not here to get us out of a depression. They're here to, in reality, expose that's going on with you so that you start to work upon it. But we can't put it all upon the dog and think that the dog is going to be able to get us in a better place. Because in most cases, what happens when you're in that scenario, again, this is something that most cases, you're not very consciously trying to do this. You're just doing it. Things are just going on that you're just putting things upon something else to try to make you feel better and thinking that something else is going to be able to make you feel better. And some people, unfortunately, you are purposely doing what you're doing. And you're watching things get worse and worse, and you're just cool with it. Because some people, straight up, I work for some people that you think and say and claim that you want help, but you actually don't want any help. You want someone to, in reality, validate what it is that you're doing, to validate you putting all of this upon a dog to try to make you better. You want someone to validate that that's the right way to go. And I'm not going to do that because to me, at the end of the day, straight up, that to me, if you are seeking the dog to make you be a better person in a way of not being depressed, not being anxious, not being worried, not being fearful, not being any of that, you're doing too much to the dog that it at the end of the day to me goes to the level of abuse. I don't. We get confused today with that word of thinking like you can only physically harm something to abuse something, and in reality, to me personally, straight up, the way that I just view the world, and I know a lot of other people view the world. If I had to put on a scale of 1 to 10, actual physical abuse compared to a mental abuse, I'm gonna put a physical on like a 3, maybe 4. But the mental game, I'm gonna put it at 8, 9. Some people at a 10 because it could destroy your entire life. That you start getting in thinking patterns that aren't real, and you start to get extremely just extremely messed up. Whereas someone can physically hit you, and it's like you see the scar, you see the bruise, you see the hit, and it's going to heal, it's going to go away. And it's kind of easier in a way to actually see something physical because you can see the progressions of it actually getting, you can actually see it getting better. Whereas the mental issues going on, you don't see, you got no idea what's happening. And that's what a lot of people are doing with these dogs, and you're expecting the dogs to get better. And the only way that the dog is going to get better is if we ourselves get better. It's something that for some reason just, I don't know why dog training doesn't talk enough about. It's like they want to dance around the concepts of like trainers will always make the little hidden little snickers between it's not the dog, it's the human. But we're not like straight up saying what it is. The dog is so simple. Straight up, people. The dog is simple. The dog is basic. And in my opinion, personally, we as humans are also just as simple, also just as basic. But we run into the problems of the overthinking and the thinking and the this and the that, and we mess ourselves up. So that's why it ends up being more complex. But the principles and the concepts are so basic, so simple. So simple to be able to get yourself in a better place. One, you're struggling right now, you don't know what to do, get up and get walking, get running, get moving, get climbing some stairs, do something, pick up some rocks, do something, do anything to get yourself to get a little bit tired. If you can't sleep, you're not sleeping all that great because you're not doing that little extra that you need to be able to sleep tonight. Little things you can do to just be able to get yourself better. And you could just change up what you eat a little bit. Best case scenario, stop eating. Like you'll find yourself in a much, much better situation more than likely. But it's the tragedy that we think that something out there is going to be able to make our lives better. And then we put that on the dog, seeing how caring the dog looks. They give us those little eyes and they're just, dang, Johnny, what is this? They give us those little eyes that are just so sweet and so innocent and so, they look so loving. And you want to just put all of your everything into it. And then literally you can start petting the dog. I've seen this in my face with some people. That you're literally, I can see you like releasing all of your like fears, anxieties, just worries. You're like petting it away into the dog. Like, please take it away. Please take it away. Like you're hoping that dog is going to be the Messiah of this planet. Like you're wanting it to be that, to take everything away. What always happens is when you stop petting it, you come right back into reality. But what happens is now the dog is confused. The dog is just not sure of what the heck's going on. And there are that exceptional dog that can handle that, that can deal with that, knows what to do with that knows how to translate your hurt and put it into good. But we all today, we just want to select any dog and think that any dog is capable of being able to do that. And that's not their role. The dog's role is not to make us emotionally better, not even at the end of the day to make my workload better. It's to just, in reality, they're fascinating in the way that they're just there to make what's good better, not make what's bad better. When things are already good, dogs, oh my goodness, they excel. That's why we have like purpose-bred dogs to keep doing different things, because you're already doing something and you're pretty good at it. And now you got the dog to be able to help you do it more and just way, way better. But if everything is a hot mess, the dog's not going to come in and fix it and make it all to be good to go. Because I could simply state that as a fact with all of my animals, especially with working with this, my border collie. When my chickens are a hot mess, when my coops are just, I know there's some times that I got to spend days to just remake what I'm doing, because my coop isn't, sometimes I'm just like, let's just make it happen. Let's just do it. And I just go out there and I just throw the baby chicks out there and hoping and wishing and praying, and I don't really proof it, and everything is just, it's a mess. And the chicks break out and I've got like 100 of them running around. The dog, he's good at doing what he's doing when things are good, when it's sound and there's only 2 or 3 or 4 that are breaking out and everything is in order. But when there's chaos, when everything is said bad and it's just a rampage and the chicks don't even know where to go because they don't have the boundaries of, like, literally they just walk through the fence. It's not like they know I have to stay in. So he's just running, going frantic to the point that he literally quits. Because this is what happens if I push him too much. This is why when you're running cows in the field or sheep in the field, it's best to have at minimum 2 of these dogs, not just the one. Because if it becomes too much and he's not able to get done what he needs and everything is just running in chaos, he literally will quit. He's just gonna lay down like, I don't know what to do. So in that scenario, I'm actually getting him worse. I'm getting him worse and worse and worse. And that's why, for me personally, that's where my running really started kicking in gears. Because when I saw him do that, especially with the goats, I had to get out there and be his partner, his number 2. So I'm out there literally running the same way that he's running. We're both in pair. So that's why it's complicated with me and this dog sometimes, because sometimes I'm not sure if he really thinks and knows that I'm a human, because we do the same work together. But he at least listens to me when we're doing the work together. But we really just get in tune with each other. And he would like wrestle me and do weird stuff, especially when he was really young. but it was to let him know, like, I had to make it already good to show what to do and then to make it better. When things are chaos, the dog ends up getting further into chaos. And worst case scenario, they shut down. And if the dog shuts down, that's a dog that I'm in reality, that's a dog that you're scared of being around any dog. That's a dog I'm scared to be around. Because the slightest noise, the slightest touch, the slightest anything can get that dog to want to snap, want to bark, want to growl, want to put teeth on. Because it's so insecure. It doesn't know what it is. Dogs are incredible because of how tough, how strong, how just tough is the word I want to use. Like how strong and bold that they are. They're incredible, especially when you're pushing them to be that incredible instead of putting all the baggage and trying to suppress them and bring them down. You can watch I watch these dogs do just wild, maddening things that, like, I'm a little nervous and the dog just runs in like, hey, we're good to go. Everything's fine here. They're incredible, but they're only incredible like that when we are getting them to be that way. We're bringing good to them so that they can excel, not bringing them garbage and trash and thinking that we're going to be able to get them to get out of that and get into something better. We have to set it up for success for them to be able to be good. And a lot of what's going on today is we're not setting the dogs up for success. We're failing the dogs from instant one. We're expecting the dogs to do stuff that in reality, we our own selves, that's why we do it with the dog, are incapable of doing. And then we get upset when the dog isn't following through. We get upset when the dog doesn't want hugs anymore. We get upset when the dog doesn't want to come to you anymore. So that's the first thing that you do with that is you try to give the dog treats to coerce the dog to try to stay with you. And a dog will come to you for the food. It'll come to you for the food, and it goes back to the pets. And you keep doing that. And then you run to the scenario that the dog doesn't want to come to you even for the food anymore. So then now you're unsure of what to do. So now you start to corner the dog. And that's where the dog is going to start to snap. That's what a dog is going to have to give pushback. And a lot of y'all are going through that scenario right now. But the main thing is, the unfortunate thing is, a lot of people don't like to stand up to it and say, like, this is actually what's going on. And you want someone to just tell you that what you're doing is the right way to go. And it's not, if you're thinking that the dog is going to make you be a better person on this planet. The dog isn't capable of that. The dog doesn't really understand, in my opinion, I've read a lot of books. I do a lot of research on all this. I do a lot of just paying really close attention to these animals. The emotions part of these dogs, I'm going to say they have emotions that are ours, not their own. They don't know how to, that's why they're always watching us. They're watching us, studying us to, like, copy us, to figure us out. It's like they don't know. It's like I'm going to say some crazy stuff right this second. But it's like they're robots. And they're watching every little thing that we do to figure out, like, how to act and what to do. And if they're feeling, if you're all emotional or all like, I need help and I need a savior type attitude, and you're looking into the dog is going to look at you in that moment right back the same way. It's going to look at you the same way, like, oh yeah, please hold me. I need you. As opposed to coming to that dog and saying, hey, we're good. Everything's fine. Let's make it happen. This is how I transform, like, scared, nervous, crazy dogs. I don't want to say crazy, but scared, nervous, anxious, fearful dogs, like, really easily. Because I'm not coming in with, like, oh, come on, baby, let's go. No, I'm coming in like, let's go have fun. Let's go do something. Let's go make something happen. Let's go run, man. Let's go chase. Let's go play. Let's go chew on something. Let's go eat something. Let's go dig in something. Let's go, man. Let's go. And I come with that dog with that energy, and the dog's like, it's fearful, but then it's like, it's studying me to realize, oh, I don't need to do that with this person. This person is different. We can go do stuff. But then the next person comes in and sees that dog, like, scared and nervous and fearful, and you're like, oh, this dog right here. And the dogs are learning that from us. They're studying us. They're paying attention to everything that we're doing. And they're literally mirroring everything that we're doing. They're acting just like us. So it's weird to me when I'm really thinking hard about these dogs, about being their own individual emotions, when they only are just doing what it is that we are all about. And then this is where, for me, it's the most fascinating, the most amazing thing to be able to see is how I could take your dog that's fearful and bring it to me, and you won't see a fearful dog. I mean, you can have your dog for I've worked with one dog. It was 14-year-old little, I don't want to say that word. I don't know what it was. It's one of those, man, what are those things called? It's not the Dachshund. It's the, man, I can't think of the breed name. I'll think about it in a second. But they're like the little wiener dog things. They're little short, stubby legs. A 14-year-old dog, fearful. And I get that dog and I take that dog out of that house, away from that house, down the street. And I'm like, let's go, man, let's go do something. And that dog just transforms. It's not even the earlier in the age, the better it is. At any age, I realize with these dogs, that somebody can come in with completely different energy, and that dog just matches that person, and then they just move on like, oh, okay, everything's okay here. That's why for me, I was struggling with a few of my dogs for a little while, especially Johnny, especially my Pyrenees. Oh my goodness, I'm just videos. I think a lot of my earlier videos when I was struggling with this dog right here, it's because I was struggling with me. And then he was just seeing that from me. And now that I'm no longer struggling with these issues, this dog is like it's almost like I'm a whole new person to him. That he's like, who the heck are you? Like, I can hang with you. Let's go play. Let's do something. And then he's extra on duty. I still haven't lost any chicks. And things are still looking good with him. I do have a possum here, but the possum's not taking, he might be able to get, no, I don't think he'd mess with baby chicks. If my chickens are bucking and clucking at night, this dude is on mission. If something comes and takes an egg and is silent, it is what it is. He lets that go. But in reality, for me, it's too much for him to work. He's over. I need to get 2 or 3 more of these guys actually in reality. But we were butting heads because I was anxious, irritated. I was frustrated. I was angry. I was all of these things. So that's what he was. And in reality, that's all he saw of me, because this dog in specific, he would only see me when I'm outside. And he was like, in reality, a little fearful of me at first, because he was just, I'm going to say, he's been a fearful dog since I got him. As opposed to now, this past year, he's changing. But he's been a fearful dog. When I met him, he was hiding underneath something. So then I got him to come on out. But every time that I would see this dog, he was like fearful of me, because I was fearful, and he was just seeing me, and he's like, oh, shucks, I'm just going to go hide again. And I'm like, you dang dog, I can't have a fearful dog out here. Not going to be able to get the coyotes out. I don't worry about the coyotes, but even just a raccoon or something. But he's proven to me that he's getting better based on, I'm going to say, me getting better. And now he's willing to come and hang out. Now in pretty much every video, I mean, he just hangs out with me at this moment. Now he's just like, I can hang around this. This is pretty cool. And it's what we are doing to get the dogs to get into that better place. Not a matter what someone else can come in and do to the dog, because that's someone else. That's every dog I handle. They always 100% act different when I'm simply on the leash. I don't care if the owners are right there in my face. If the dog is on the leash with me, it pulls, it tries to go to them, and it realizes it's stuck with me, the dogs change right away. They don't go into fear. They don't go into nervous. They go into, hey, what's up, buddy? What are we going to do? Because that's what I'm saying to the dog. Hey, let's go do something. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to limit you. I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to make your life better. And that dog just, they move so fast with seeing that. That's how you see so many videos on this YouTube of people grabbing a dog, and it can look wild for a moment, but because the dog is basically trying to get back to the owners. And then when they get a little separation, the dog realizes, I can't go. I'm stuck with this person now. They start to just see that person. They're like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is the newness. So it's like they don't have their own set of emotions. They're watching and mirroring us. And wherever the state that we are in is what the dog wants to be in. And the dogs, both sides of this, cannot handle too excitable, and they can't handle too, I'm depressed and I'm lonely and I'm nervous. I'm telling you, when it's quiet, you always start to feel like you want to get suspicious, like what the dogs are doing. But I've realized with my dogs that when they're quiet, they're actually doing what it is that I'm looking for. And when I hear noise, it's the opposite that I personally see. No, this is what I'm going to say. When kids are quiet, be wary of what's going on. But when the dogs are quiet, I notice it's okay. But when the kids are making noise, everything is all good. But when the dogs are making noise, I'm like, what are y'all about to do? I just noticed weird differences here with all of that. Because now I'm just looking, and she's just walking and hanging and sniffing and doing what she does. I got nothing to worry about. I don't know why I'm always, that's the things in me that I'm always still trying to control too much. And the more that I can just let that go more and more day by day by day, the more I'm going to realize just so much things start to become better and better and better. Just let that control go. The more control, I'm telling you, the more control, the more all of that, you are running into a hot mess. And especially when it comes to the dog, because at least the human child can run away and leave and say, I'm done with you, I'm moving out, I'm out. But the dogs don't have that opportunity. I mean, they be running away. Don't get on my Nextdoor app here, because every day 3 or 4 or 5 dogs are running away from people. So they do run away, but they always end up having to go back, unfortunately. And but they're just matching what it is that we're putting out, and they can't handle these extremes. They can handle a little bit of each, but they have to land in the middle for the most part. And this is where, for me, I see that dogs are getting, the only word I can use is destroyed, just beat down, broken down today, because we're putting too much upon them. We're looking at them as if they're a savior. Again, this isn't everybody, but I'm telling you, everybody knows at least one person that's got a dog and is doing this with their dog inside of their household. And this is the part with us that it just is what it is. But when you see something, you just got to say something, knowing that that person is not going to listen. This is why it's hard for the main people that really need help with your dogs right now. It's hard to help you because you don't want to change anything and you think that something outside is going to do it. You think you're perfect. Not in a way that you're like this narcissistic supreme being, but just in this way that it's been working. And just because it's been working doesn't mean that it's good. Doesn't mean that it's the best thing for you. What's best going to be for you is to change up what it is you're doing to actually be able to get things to be better in your world. And that's hard to do. So most people do not listen to anything that anyone has to say about, hey, maybe you should try this instead. But the main thing is, at least it needs to be said. Who cares what they do with that information? It needs to be said. You said it and you're done, and move on and move away. And say, hey, I know you're struggling with this right here, this animal. You're struggling with this dog. I see you. Maybe you should try BAM, but this, and this. We are all intelligent enough to be able to recognize how to be able to help. This is the thing where I'm going to say, I personally believe we are struggling the most in society today, in the United States of America. I'm not sure how a lot of other countries work on what I'm about to say. Is when years and years and years ago, it was about my age. So it was like early or late 80s, all the 90s that this changed from society, where you would see a kid out in public doing something crazy. And you would say, stop doing that. And or I'm going to tell your mom, tell your dad. But you step in and you say something to that child. And that child will listen to you. And the parents of that child will basically congratulate and say, thank you. Thank you for getting my kid on right there. Whereas today, if you talk to someone's kid, that mom, that dad is going to be evil towards you. Like, you're just so wrong. And that doesn't help society at all. What does help it is when you see that kid at the, like, I'm in the last sticky situation, I've seen some kids doing some stupid stuff. There was just that, this is years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I was at Target. This might not even be 2 years ago, because I think I was just recently there because I had to get some towels for something. I only get towels from Target. I don't know why. I don't know who else sells towels, but I go to Target. But I go there, and these kids are out here. They're like early teens. I'm talking 12, 13, 14, 15. And they're out there they got a big bottle of liquor, and they're out there smoking, and they're out here with the shopping carts and just hitting stuff with it. And I'm looking at this kid like, y'all better go home. Y'all better get the heck out of here. I don't know why. I didn't care. If a parent had to say something to me about that at that time, I'm going to throw words at that parent and say, we got some things that we need to work on right now. This is just what it is. But that was normal 50 years ago, 60 years ago. For me to be able to I would corral those kids up and say, where are y'all parents at? Like, we don't need to get the police involved, but you going home. I'm driving you home to get you to get back home, because what you're doing right now is unacceptable. But we no longer do that. And that shows in society, to me personally, on why we're stumbling and fumbling, because we're so nervous about being able to help someone because of what the backlash and all of this. But that's where we're stumbling right now, because some people still need that. And unfortunately, they're going to probably have negative words to say to you, but it's done and it's over with. And that seed has been planted now. Now that person now can try to figure out, okay, maybe what I am doing is the wrong thing. Maybe what I need to pay more attention to what's going on here. Because I've helped so many people. I'll never forget this one person that I just never forget her, because she was just so distraught with being a dog trainer and seeing her dog act the way that it was acting, not knowing how to get it better. And I'm like, oh, this is an easy fix. Just stop doing everything that you're doing and just let's hang out with the dog. And it's fascinating that someone has told her that had a dog that she's like, I like your dog. What do you do? He's like, nothing. I just hang out with the dog. You do too much with your dog. That's why your dog is acting like that. And it just didn't click. But it was said. And if it's said twice or 3 times, then more than likely, someone's going to do something about that. But if you never say anything, then nothing is ever going to be done about it. You're just going to keep running into that same scenario. And that's our own selves as well. Why I talk the way I talk about these dogs. Because I do know, I don't want to say 100%, but let's just put 80% of it on us and 20% on the dogs. 80% of the issues with our dogs are our fault. The human being that's owning that dog, it's your fault. Your fault, hands down, you're the problem. And 20% is the dog. I might even change that a little bit and say 90-10 in reality, but 80-20 sounds prettier. And even 70-30 sounds even prettier. Some dogs are 70-30. Most dogs are 80-20. And a few dogs, like if I was having issues with my border collie, that would be weird. Like there might be a neurological issue, something wrong with him. That I get it. The dog is, I got to do something with the dog here. Something wrong with that dog. But most of everything that we're doing with these dogs, it's our fault. Our fault. We're messing up with something. We're not doing something. We're not paying attention to something. We're over analyzing something. We're over expecting something. We're overdoing, or we're not doing enough. We're doing something that is causing that animal to act the way that it's acting, because it's just acting the way that we are acting. And once we really understand that, we are only going to then start to get help. Then once you understand it's your fault, your problem, your issue, now if you hire a dog trainer, you're going to have what I would say is success at that moment in reality. Because now you're going to start asking that person, what do I need to do? My number one goal is I want to see you with the dog, see how you pet them, see what you're doing, see how you hold the leash, see everything, so that I could critique what's going on. And the people that get the best results are the people that can take that critique and say, oh yeah, I am doing that. Let me change that now. They're the ones that get the best results. Not the ones that you do enough sit stays with the dog and now the dog knows how to sit better. Now my dog is good. No, that's got nothing to do with it. It's got everything to do with us, what we are doing. And once you understand that, you are finally going to be able to get into that stance of, now I'm going to get somewhere with this animal. And if you're expecting an animal to be perfect, you need to work upon yourself to be perfect. You expect your dog to be on time, you better get on time. You expect your dog to perform perfectly every single day all the time, you better start performing and being perfect every single day. I hope you better never get sick. You better never have a day that just, I'm not feeling it. The thing that I used to say as a little kid to my dad, and he's like, what you feeling? Get out there and do. Never made sense to me, but it makes sense today. But it's like, you better be perfect if that's what you're expecting everything else around you to be. And if you're not, then you need to start to understand that there's times and things that goes on that just, we got things to work on. And it's not always going to be flawless. Because I personally see that in my dogs across the board. Not every day are they just like hardcore ready to go, ready to get stuff done. Not every day. We got days that it's just, I just simply say it as, we tired. We just tired. We tired and we just tired of it. And I just want to lay and hang out and just relax. And I don't know what it is today. That's something that I could say. It's like all the dogs are just laying right here now. They're just all here. They're just tired today, man. Every other day they're out running and moving and doing. But right now, for some reason, I'm sitting, they're laying. We're just all here right now. And they're just, this is all I want to do. I did too much already today, you know? I just want to hang out. And that's just how each day is. Each time is. And you can have even seasons of things like that. There's season where there's a time frame that things are going, like I was just saying, things were going good for weeks, almost a whole month. I was like, man, I didn't even speak to the dogs when I'm out. They're just like doing what I need them to do. And then we had that time of just, man, what's going on? Why am I having to call you again? Why am I talking to you so much? Why am I have to this? Why am I have to, and then we get back into that calmness again. Or today again, back into that calmness like it's been this past month. Just hanging out, hanging and being. Now, when I get up and we go do something, we're going to get up and go do something. One thing that I really have gotten some excitement, more excitement on my dogs is doing something that isn't as crazy as it can be. I have never seen my Great Pyrenees move so fast before. But I got a couple of mice out here, and we go hunting at night. It's the nighttime. And when it starts to get dark out, we start to get relaxed, settled, and ready, because we're about to go running and doing what we're doing. And I've never seen this Great Pyrenees run. He'll chase bunnies, and he'll chase those mice. But he does not chase chicken. He don't chase nothing but bunnies and mice. So he definitely still has some drive in there. As much as we've been trying to breed all that out of him, I can still bring him up. And even when I play with my flirt pole, he's starting to like get a little like, hey, let me join in on that. Because in reality, I would want him to do that so that we can do that together, because he still likes to run and chase the neighbor's dog away, which I don't mind, but the neighbors, I just don't want them, the fences, they're too big, they can get their noses through. I don't need a nose getting bit or getting issues. I don't need issues. I just want peace and harmony, especially if he's not in my field. I don't care, dude. It's over there. So I want to be able to play a game with him to be able to get that out that he likes doing. When I see him do it, he enjoys it. He sounds so good. He barks. His bark is amazing. It's intense. But it's a matter of me working on my own self to get my dogs to be able to get into that better place. And the more that I work on myself, the more I figure out more that I need to do. And something simple as me is something that I know that it's just, this is me, something in me that is just me for sure. That my exercise that I do, the more I run, the harder I run. Because this is just, it's fascinating to watch throughout the week. On Mondays, because I don't really run too much, I'll just do walks on the weekend. But Monday I get back to running and I'm fresh. And when I'm fresh, I got like this extraness to me. And the dogs like display that. But closer to the end of the week, I'm tired. I'm tired today. I've been running every day this week, running hard, and I'm tired. And I'm tired right now. And what are all my dogs doing? They're being that mere reflection of being tired. I don't know what it is, the Oreo. You half asleep over here, homie. I appreciate that. And we just hanging out. We hanging out. We're working on this petting stuff, and we're getting somewhere. But we just chilling right now, and it's a beautiful experience because that's what I am, and that's what the dogs are doing. If I'm anxious, my dogs are also anxious. If I'm nervous and worried, my dogs are nervous and worried. And that's what I want a lot of people to just really think about. Your dog's not a savior to fix and help you in reality. It's there to make what's good be better. It's not going to take destruction and turn it into some great stuff. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hi. Everybody looking real good. Now, everybody got to come right now, huh? You good, Johnny? I can't touch you right now. You deep in my face. She been wanting to get deep in my face this past couple of days. I'm trying to curb that. She always trying to sniff my breath. I'm like, girl, I ain't in your face like that. Don't be in my face like that. Hey, Johnny. It's just incredible to just realize, because this is something that I know that destroys a lot of families, unfortunately, is you put your stress, your problems on other people around you. And now we're doing that to even just the dogs. We're putting our problems on the dog, as opposed to dealing with our problems and getting through our problems our own. Because no one else can, in reality, get us through them. We have to do it on our own. And the more that we put our problems out on something else, the more chaos we're going to have in our lives. We got to work on it ourselves. And when we do that, everything around us is just going to just be much better. Shadow? Come here, Shadow. Much better. Come here, boy. I see your big self. I know Johnny's trying to tell you to get away. I got you. Come here. Everything just get much better. It's just simply, this is just how I could just really seriously like manage what's going on with me, is watch what these dogs are doing. That's where they're studying us so much. When I'm all like anxious and nervous and worried, these dogs want to be nowhere near me because they're not used to that anymore. They're used to me just like hanging out and being pretty chilled, pretty calm. And that's one thing, especially with this Pyrenees, that is letting me know how much I'm progressing in my life of working on myself. Is he be hanging around. He hangs around. He'll come up to me and I come home and he is asleep underneath the house somewhere, and he just comes up and he greets me. He's like, "Hey, buddy, you back home? Hi, how's it going?" And he's never used to do that. He would always just look at me like, "I'm gonna stay away from that. That energy is too toxic right now." That's what I was. But then I had to just work on my own self. Get what I need. Make what I need get happen. I keep talking about getting the dog's needs met, but us humans, we ain't getting our own needs met. We're not eating right. We're not exercising right. We're not consuming the right content. We're doing so much just wrong stuff to ourselves. And then we're expecting to be able to get better. And there's no pill, there's no shots, there's no injections, there's no nothing that's going to be able to just give that to you. It's you having to just deal with it and do it on your own.